Welcome to Yankee Your Mets, the podcast that covers all things Yankees and Mets. I'm here with my co-host, Chad Vossen. Chad, it's good to see you. How you been?
It's good to see. I've been delightful.
I would be too if I were you. The Mets have made a flurry of moves since we've last recorded one of these podcasts, and the Yankees have made the move. So I'm excited about that. But I want to jump in to just where the Mets and Yankees are right now as the offseason kind of comes to a head. I mean, we're, almost in February. Pitchers and catchers are going to report here in like 2 or 3 weeks, and batters soon after that. So teams really need to get their rosters in place so they know what they're dealing with and who they have. I guess I'll start with the Yankees because there's just less to talk about. There's only one.
And you're very familiar with the person that you brought in.
Yeah, we're so happy that Cody has decided to stay with the Yankees. We maybe thought we would have lost him to Toronto or the Mets. I mean, God forbid. The Dodgers were also in play. I think the Cubs were in there somewhere. And but he's a Yankee, and we needed him. I think had we lost Cody Bellinger a year after losing Juan Soto, whether be it to the Mets or another team, that would have been just a terrible, terrible look. I think everyone agreed that Cody was, a necessary move, not just because we lost Soto last year, but because he was such an instrumental part of the offense and was great in the field defensively. I mean, goodness, he was probably our second best player of the year. What struck me, though, and I think maybe what struck everybody, was just the amount that he was asking for seemed astronomically high. 5 years. No, well, he ended up getting 5 years, 162, which is about, $32 million a year, what have you. But he was looking for
just 32 a year.
Just 32, no biggie. And excuse me, I'm losing my voice. But okay. He was initially looking for something, upwards of 7 years, 37 mil a year. I mean, just, a $200 million contract plus. And that just never seemed realistic for a guy even like Cody Bellinger, who was so instrumental for this team.
The length, I mean, he's he just wrapped his age 30 season. 7 years, no thanks. Unless they were just using that as a negotiating tactic to try to get the Mets in there. That's the only thing I can think of, to just jack the actual signing price up.
Yeah.
But 7 years for Bellinger, no thanks.
Yeah. I mean, look, I would have been happy with 6. He is 30, according to Baseball Savant, which is not, it's not the end of his career.
Yeah.
And I would trust a guy like Bellinger, who's, been pretty healthy to not break down over time. But 7 years is a stretch, and I think the Yankees were steadfast in their decision. This is what he's worth. And when you look around the league, let's look at Pete Alonso. He signed a similar contract with the Orioles, 5 years, $150 million, roughly $30 million plus a year for a guy who's not known for his defense, but obviously brings the plus power bat. Cody on the other side, bringing more defense than offense, but just a lot more flexibility defensively. He can play 3 outfield positions. He can play first base. A $200 million contract never seemed reasonable or never seemed likely for a guy like Bellinger, given that Alonso had signed for about $150 million. Alex Bregman, who is probably another comp to Bellinger, just really good bat but stellar defense. Another 5 year, $150 million plus contract. So I got to kind of hand it to Cashman for standing pat there and not getting in a bidding war against themselves, because I think they learned a lesson from Soto, and certainly Bellinger's not that quality a player, but no need to go above and beyond. And they were banking on the Dodgers and the Jays and the Mets also understanding where the market is on someone like this, and no one offered him a different contract, and he ended up with the Yanks. So happy to see that.
Yeah, and I guess once what's his face went to the Dodgers too, that kind of Dodgers address their outfield needs.
Kyle Tucker.
So, Kyle Tucker. Yeah, and not what's his face. But Kyle. Yeah.
No, what's his face is fine. We can call him what's his face. The guy is just. I don't think. I was never in on Kyle Tucker. I didn't want him for the Yankees. I don't think you wanted him for the Mets. Certainly not at that price point.
No. To me, the Dodgers in 3 years from now, what is that team going to look like?
Probably It'll look probably pretty similar to what it does now. I think maybe
Yeah.
minus Freddie Freeman. I mean,
How
Mookie
many?
Betts getting up there a little bit, but
Yeah, Mookie. I mean, yeah. I just every year they're just signing these guys to ridiculous contracts.
yeah. And that, that brings up another point about, the lockout. And I think everyone expects there to be a work stoppage. There's speculation that the owners are going to be pushing for a salary cap, given the numbers that we're seeing in these contracts. I'm not surprised. I don't think that's going to happen, but we can get to that in a second. But just to kind of put a bow on Bellinger, the Yankees needed to make this move. It was a crucial piece to their offense. And I believe that, a lot of Yankees fans are complaining, like, we're not making a lot of moves. When you look at the Mets, they're moving, they're wheeling and dealing, they're bringing players, they're shipping players. The Yankees have added like supplementary players that augment the pitching staff, the bullpen, obviously Cody Bellinger. And I think that's enough for them. I'm not on the train where it's like we need to be reinventing this team. We won 94 games last season. We were neck and neck with the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
We have the pitching. I mean, and that's really the strength, right? And what we saw in the World Series last year, pitching made the difference. Obviously, you had to have the big home run, but when Yamamoto was on the mound, he was the difference maker. And I think the Yankees feel confident in their ability to put, strong quality arms out there that will last the season, and then probably take some of those arms and use them to augment the bullpen later down the line if they can't, solidify those late inning positions. So I think they feel really good, and I feel really good. I feel like the pitching, when everyone's back, you got Cole, Rodon, healthy, Cam Schlittler obviously emerging as like a frontline starter, and then you have like those complementary pieces like the Will Warrens, the Clark Schmidts, guys that can just kind of fill any role, right? Yes. So I feel really, really good. That's not to say, we're not going to be making moves at the trade deadline. I think we're a little too left-handed, and obviously Cody doesn't help that, but or nor does Spencer Jones, who I think is another guy people are kind of expecting to come up and see. So we do need another right-handed bat, but from top to bottom, this is a very potent offense, and our pitching staff should be able to carry us to like another 94, 95 plus win season. I feel pretty good about this team.
Yeah, I think you guys are well-rounded. You were balanced last year. You're going to be balanced again this year. You didn't need much. I guess for me, I was like, if Bellinger doesn't sign with you guys, if he goes to Toronto, he goes to the Dodgers, what was your move?
Then what? Yeah, right.
What was your move? Like, you had to get that done. You had to get it done, and you did. And he was the right piece. You don't need much. You guys were okay. You struggled against the Blue Jays in the playoffs,
and in the regular season.
And he struggled against the Blue Jays. Period.
We struggled against the East in general.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
Boston and Toronto, namely.
Wins.
And yet still ended up on 94 wins. That's because we bully bad pitching. It's a bully offense built for the regular season, and then you kind of go through the postseason on a hope and a prayer that you're going to hit home runs when you need to, because you have a lineup of home run hitters. And so that makes sense. We just haven't really done it. We had a couple of moments last year. But we had to get Cody done, you're right. And he just felt like a Yankee, even more so than Soto, who I would have just, wanted because he was so talented. Bellinger looked the part. He looked like a Yankee, and you just kind of felt like he's going to be a Yankee for the rest of his life. His dad played for the Yankees. He looks good in the pinstripes. I mean, just a natural fit, can play in the big market. So kudos to Cashman for holding out and getting him done. And I'm ready for the season to start. I don't know about you. If I were a Mets fan, I'd be excited. I can't wait to see these new look Mets. Should we talk about them?
Where do you want to begin?
Well, let me ask you this then, because your offseason started pretty rough. You lose Diaz, you lose Alonso, and then there's just nothing happens. So given how you started, have the moves that the Mets have made brought you back to like, hey, we're looking pretty good now, and this is a team I can get behind? Or do you still feel this sense of like, what are we doing?
I still feel the sense of what are we doing? Like, I feel like these were moves, reactionary moves, because we put her. I just, what are we doing, Phil? Like, we have a guy who's never played first base, a guy who's never played third base. We still don't have a left fielder. I guess it's going to be Beatty.
Yeah.
Austin Hayes. I don't know.
Austin Hayes would be a good pickup if you got him.
Yeah, but then like now what with Beatty? I don't know. I have a hard time. Pitching has been and was the issue like all of last year. And to just get Freddie Peralta, like, okay, cool. Like, that's a piece we needed. But, like, the rest of the staff is still the same. The rest of the starting staff is still the same. Like, Nolan McLean, dude has started 8 games. That's it.
8 incredible games.
8 incredible games. I've seen this before with the Mets, though. Like, do we not learn? Like, okay, I really think this guy's going to be solid. But now if you're talking postseason, you think he's going to go out there and throw 200-plus innings next year at the same caliber, just like that? I don't know. Like, what's this guy going to look like at the end of the year if he gets deep into the postseason? Because that's when, like in 2015, that's when Syndergaard broke down. That's when Harvey broke down because they were pushing these guys to ridiculous limits. So, okay, we'll see if McLean can do it. Like, I guess we're going to tinker with the 6-man rotation again because we still have Senga for the moment. And Freddie Peralta is somebody, we should have done this move at the fucking deadline last year. Like,
yeah, it was clear then you needed help desperately.
And to me, I've seen Stearns make flurries of trades before, and they have not worked out. Like, that deadline last year could not have been more of a disaster. We needed starting pitching. We didn't get it. He goes and gets bullpen guys that get shelled.
Yeah.
So, okay. Like, Freddie Peralta, nice starting pitcher. Like, people are calling him one of the best in the league. Sure, okay. Like, yeah. That's nice. But we have the rest of the staff that can't go. Like, and by the way, Freddie Peralta went into past 6 innings twice. That's it last year. So we're still in that same boat of we have starting pitching that can't go deep. They run pitch counts up, and our bullpen has to be perfect like they were in the beginning of the year. And then they got overworked, and the Mets lost so many games in the back half because that bullpen was tapped. And then we're like, let's just, I know we have probably as close to a sure thing as in terms of a save as you can get. We're just going to go ahead and give him to the Dodgers.
Oh, gosh.
Like, they needed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're going to go get the guy that Pete hit the home run off of in the postseason. I have zero confidence in that guy in the postseason. I don't give, like I said, and I've said it before, where he's going to be great in August, closing out games against the fucking Reds or whatever. But get me into the postseason, then what are you going to do, guy? Like, we'll see. That's how I'm taking the season. We'll see.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of fair criticism there. The fact that he hasn't pitched beyond 6 innings that often is concerning. It's, but I kind of go back to that's the trend in the league. And so is it fair to fault the guy that is basically doing the league average when it comes to innings pitched? If he can't get, if he's going 5, maybe 6 innings, that should be enough if you have a lockdown bullpen. But as you mentioned, the guys that you picked up last year got shelled and it didn't work. Those guys that you picked up at the time were also very good. Ryan Helsley was like lights out in St. Louis, and then he comes to the Mets and just falls apart. Like, you can't predict that, like on paper, those arms looked amazing. And I remember the sentiment was like, look at our bullpen now. Look who we have now to close out games. Like, we are
because
lock.
we couldn't get deep.
Right, you couldn't get deep.
We needed to have a start, but that's still the problem.
It is. But your pitching, you got a new pitching coach. You have a new pitching staff. Some guys are coming back. I think, Peralta just, he cures those. If he's healthy and he does what we expect him to do, like he can stop the bleeding. He's going to keep those long losing streaks from, extending beyond 4, 5, 6 games because you have a stopper on the mound. And then you have McLean, who, yes, he's only pitched 8 innings, but he's shown so much promise. And 8 games, sorry. He's shown a ton of promise, and you expect him to improve. And then, you have guys, I think, that can right the ship and hold it if they're okay. Clay Holmes it was pretty steady last year. Didn't often get you through 5, maybe 5, but like he's a quality pitcher. I think when you look at the Mets, though, the biggest difference is their offense, right? And this lineup, top to bottom, they're just professional hitters. They're such good hitters. They put bat to ball. They know how to work the count. You kind of have like a high ceiling with Robert. I mean, he can strike out, but he's had sort of a bounce back year in what was it, 23, which is now 2 or 3 years removed. But like a quality professional center fielder, which has been lacking in the Mets. Strong defense up the middle with Simeon and Lindor, and now Robert in center. And I trust Bo to play third base. He's a shortstop. Like A-Rod made the same transition, played Gold Glove first base. Took him a little while to get used to it, but he made it. Like these guys, it's easier to make that transition, I think, than someone coming from like second to short or outfield to infield. I mean, that's kind of like, if you have a shortstop and you're getting another middle infielder, you put them at second or third base. Range was always kind of Bichette's issue, and he doesn't really need a ton of that at third. He just needs to have a competent glove. You'd like to see
be able to charge those bunts.
Yeah, charge those bunts, and I mean, you'd like maybe a bit of a stronger arm.
Happened during the year.
All 3 bunts, yeah. I'm not worried about Bo Bichette at third. I'm not really worried about Polanco at first base. I think you'll figure that part out, and the lineup has all of a sudden gotten a lot scarier, and that's saying something considering that it no longer has Pete Alonso. I'm not saying you should be afraid of Marcus Semien, but like,
a 36-year-old Marcus Semien, 36, coming to a new city.
But he's in there for not just like, great defense and solid bat. He's just a good clubhouse guy, and he's won and he knows how to do it. And I think so much of the narrative in the Mets this offseason was like, there's something wrong with the clubhouse. There's just something not right. There's something not right. So Stearns addressed that. He gets guys that come from the, strong clubhouses and have won before. So if the goal was to change the culture, that's exactly what they did.
I guess. I mean, again, I'm not in there. I'm not in the clubhouse.
Oh, you're not?
I don't know, but not recently. But you could have made the Luis Robert. You should have re-signed Diaz. Like you will never sell me on Devin Williams until the guy performs in the postseason.
They tried though. In all fairness, they tried. I don't think they were going to re-sign Pete. They made a legit offer on Diaz, and I think the Dodgers made him take their offer before going back. I think the Mets wanted Diaz back. They gave him,
according to Diaz,
but they didn't end up with him.
They didn't wind up.
They didn't.
Like at the end of the day, like you're going to make that move for Devin Williams, and he's like, the hell.
Right. Yeah, they did not handle that part well.
No. So there's that. I don't think they needed to go nuclear like they have on this roster. Pete or Brandon for Semien, okay. Like that's fine. As far as clutch bats in New York in the postseason, people that can stand who have shined in that moment. Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
He's not here. Were they the issues? Jeff McNeil, getting rid of him, fine. Like I used to really love the guy, but he just seemed like somebody that was always on edge.
Yeah.
I think it was a big middle finger to send him out to Sacramento or wherever the hell the A's are playing. That was cruel.
That is.
Here, go have fun out there.
Yeah,
Stay out of Sevy while you're there.
With a new stadium and that offense, they got some good young bats. It's not the worst place, but yeah.
No. It's I jest, but
no,
it's
but
just it's an elf
from New York to Sacramento is quite a shift.
I mean, were they the clubhouse issues? I don't know.
Maybe there's something to that, though. I mean, there was speculation or rumors that Nimmo and Lindor didn't see eye to eye on politics. I mean, and that's just, it sounds petty, but like stuff like that can bleed into, your on-field production. And if they got rid of him, because I don't think Nimmo certainly was the problem. Like, I thought he was a pretty good player, solid player, but
he was solid. I mean, he was one of those roll up your sleeves, and he just would always, Mr. Happy or no, that's Lindor, but he's always smiling.
Yeah,
the two of them were always smiling, I guess, for different reasons.
I mean, they thought that it was worth moving him. And if the Mets thought that, then there must have been something to the rumor that there was a clubhouse issue. With Pete, Pete seems like the kind of guy that was just like kind of always there, like a little oafy, not so much like a team leader, but like, just kind of a goofy guy. I don't think he ever rubbed anybody the wrong way, but they certainly weren't going to pay him. It was more about money with Pete versus than like, clubhouse atmosphere. I don't think Pete was that kind of problem. But Jeff McNeil, you said, was always on edge, like, and that can take a toll on a team.
But the culture and the clubhouse in 2024 versus 2025, there was not much of a difference.
Yeah.
And that team, like, there was not much of a roster difference. And somehow all of a sudden this culture soured over a year. And there's only one person that was added.
I wonder who that could have been.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been on this rodeo with the Mets so many times. And like, I think things needed to happen. I don't think they needed to go as it never works out well when the Mets overhaul like this and trying to keep that window open and saying you're still competing. Like I prefer, and I'm not saying this is what should have done. When you make these types of categorical changes, that's a rebuild. And like, let's turn Bobby Bonilla into Alex Ochoa and like all those kinds of moves. It just, with this much roster overhaul, like I'm just like, all right, let's see how this works out now.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen these. It doesn't. I don't know. Are all these guys going to perform in New York? I hope.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I think that, now it's on Stearns and Mendy. Really, I mean, I think at the beginning of last year, we wouldn't have told you that Mendy was on the hot seat, especially after their performance. But then by the end of last year, I think there was a case to be made for, like, I don't know, maybe do we need a new manager? Like, Mendy had the same team plus Soto, and now we couldn't make it happen. And as you've pointed out, the starting pitching was just not the same, and probably the cause for all of this losing. But who else in the East? And I know the Dodgers are kind of like the team to beat in everyone's mind. Like, ultimately, that's who you are going to have to get through. And the Mets playing in the National League worry more about the Dodgers than, say, like a team like the Yankees. But who else in the East is really, really scares you? I mean, you've said the Phillies are aging. I think they'll hit. I know they got some good pitchers, but like, are they getting any better? They just lost Ranger Suarez. Like, are you worried about the Braves? Are you worried about the Marlins?
Yeah,
I know
I'm always worried about the Braves, and I'm always worried about the Marlins.
The Marlins.
We cannot beat the Marlins.
I know.
How many times is that goddamn team going to just push us out of the postseason? I'm done. We never play the Marlins well. It's always they like, I don't care what state that roster is in. If it's like, I mean, we talked about it on one of the podcasts last year. Every at bat, Gary was like, and here's a rookie, and here's a rookie, and here's a rookie, and and we still did not beat them. Like these guys, and whatever. So
Kyle Stowers, man, oof, watch out.
Yeah. The Braves and the I will never not be worried about the Braves.
Yeah,
that's just inherent.
Yeah, I mean, look, anything can happen. I think there's been enough of an overhaul where this is a new look team, and Soto has said that he wants to get better defensively, and that's you can't ask for much more than that from your megastar who's getting paid $50 million a year to say, I'm gonna stick with my defense and try to improve in those areas. We saw him steal 40 bases last year, right? I mean, like, that's an element of Soto's game that we never knew existed. And if he continues to get better, even if he improves on defense a little bit, I mean, that's just really good for the team, really good for the clubhouse. When your star is showing, like, I'm putting in the work, I'm trying to get better.
But wasn't he statistically speaking the worst outfielder in baseball last year?
Yeah, so there's only one way to go, and that's up. I mean, I think he realizes
better not be going down, because I'm going to be very upset if that happens. He gets worse.
If he gets worse, it's just a new look team, and I don't know. If I were a Mets fan, I would be excited. I think, and
I'm trying.
Again, it's not over. It's not over. The offseason is not over. I don't expect any moves to eclipse the Peralta or the Robert move in scale, but I think
I love the Robert move. I mean, we didn't give up
great.
anything for Robert. Yeah. We like the Peralta one to give up Williams and Sproat for a year.
Yeah. With the chance to re-sign. I mean, I think bringing him in-house makes it more likely that you can re-sign him, and he's young enough where
that's Pete.
Yeah. Yeah. How old is Peralta? What is he? 29. 29.
So he's entering his 30th season.
Entering his 30th season, I can see the Mets offering him a contract at the end of the year if he performs well for 5 or 6 years. That doesn't seem like a ridiculous contract for a pitcher who has performed the way Peralta has performed. But you are, to your point, you are banking on some young guys, Jonah Tong, Nolan McLean. I think they think pretty highly of those guys. And, think highly of Sproat, which is why he was sought after. I mean, Sproat was another guy that you thought could be like a mainstay in the rotation.
Of the three, obviously McLean, Tong, Sproat, the one you're going to deal is Sproat. Sproat's obvious. He's also the older. Well, I think he's 25, 26, not that old.
But for a pitcher,
yeah,
any extra year you can get out of that is money in the bag.
Yeah. Jet Williams, he just, he seems like one of those guys that's just going to bother us in the future.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Kinda. Like PCA.
We don't have to go there. Unless you want to.
There's our center fielder.
Yeah. And even he slowed down in the second half of last year after just a monster start. Look, baseball's a hard game. I think they're probably looking at Carson Benj as your left fielder, right? I think he's pretty high
and they're
on
giving
that
him
list.
The option, yeah.
I'm giving him the option. There are things you can do. I think the question is, it's like, where do the Beatties and the Vientoses land? Obviously, Acuna's gone. He didn't, with so many middle infielders on this team, he didn't really have a home, and best to ship him, for a guy like Robert and take a chance on him.
I'm just, why didn't we get Robert? Again, we got the two guys we should have gotten at the trade deadline.
Yeah. These are good questions. I mean, I think maybe they thought they'd turn it around.
Yeah. Well, clearly the asking price went down in theory.
Yeah.
But those are the guys we needed.
Yeah. I think you're the team to beat in the East, and I expect the Mets to be better next year. I think they'll surprise a lot of people. I think Peralta will make it work.
Will they surprise though? Aren't they sort of picked now? Everybody loves these moves. I just let me see. Just get the damn season started.
Just start it. Yeah.
Just start the season. We'll see. Talk to me in August. I don't care about hot starts or cold starts or whatever. What's going on in August, September? How far are we out? How up are we? So we can go.
Speaking of the season, this might be the last season we have for a little while. I think it's the consensus is there's going to be a work stoppage and probably no baseball, at least to start the 2027 season. That's very sad. But where do you see this kind of going? Do you think owners are going to push for a salary cap? There's no surprise there.
Yeah.
How do you feel this might play out?
Oh, I don't
it's
think
never pretty. We know that.
No, it's never pretty, and it gets ridiculous. You're talking about billionaires versus millionaires, and fighting on the fringes of reality, really. Part of me wonders if because a lot of these deals, Peralta for one, Bichette has opt out. I think Stearns was also thinking of that too with these
100%.
moves. So he's like, I don't know what shit's going to look like after this season. How am I going to reset? We'll see. We'll see. Salary caps, it's weird because I like them, but then it's also the owners can't help themselves. Don't give them these goddamn contracts. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Don't hand out these ridiculous contracts and then just say, oh my God, we need a salary cap.
Right.
You can't help yourself. Then what are you doing?
Right. You're contributing to the problem.
Yeah, you are the problem. You're gluttonous. The Dodgers
make me sick.
They make me sick, but they're no different than what the Yankees were doing in the late 90s or in the early 2000s, just buying everybody.
Yeah.
The Mets, I've seen the Mets try buying everybody. It doesn't always guarantee wins. So, like, at the end of the day, I don't know.
When the Dodgers seem to do it, though, everybody fits, right? We talked about this, I think, maybe during the last episode. Everyone they get seems to make it work. Like, when you compare them to the Yankees, like, they got a lot of great bats, but I think, pitching was a big problem back then, and they didn't have the pitching, and their offense couldn't sustain in the postseason. The Dodgers just don't have that problem. Everyone they get just fits perfectly into their system. It's like they have a cheat code, and it's like, really, Kyle Tucker? When I heard it, it's just so gross, first of all, and but I think you have a point. It's like owners now looking at 2027 and not realizing what's going to happen. Salary cap, no salary cap. The Dodgers are trying to take advantage of that and just put them all out there right now. Let's win one more, and then we'll deal with the aftermath later. But owners have to be going into this thinking, like, we might lose an entire year of baseball. And now we may not pay players, but everyone's getting 1 year older. Do we want to lock these players up for like long-term deals when we don't even know what this is going to look like? So that seems to be the trend, is like getting these like shorter term contracts, for max average annual value, seems to be the preferred recipe for, GMs and owners versus these longer terms. I mean, Tucker was at one point maybe getting 10 years from Toronto, but he opted for the short term, multiple opt-outs, max dollars contract that he ended up signing. Who's going to opt out of that contract? $60 million a year. 60 million is like, he would have to have an incredible year. He'd have to have Shohei-like production in order to say, you know what, I'm going to go for 70.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Like, who is opting out of that contract? So he'll get another contract. I would anticipate him staying with the Dodgers for 4 years. Maybe he opts out. Maybe after the third year. I think he's got 2 opt-outs. I know Cody does. But maybe he opts out, but then he'll be 32, 33, and then he can get another short-term contract for it. It all kind of evens out. He'll get 60 million a year for 4, and then he'll get 30 million a year for another 3 or 4, and then he'll just be, but it's insane. And to me, it's not about, we could talk about salary caps. I don't know what that does to bring up the teams that aren't spending money. The whole idea is the teams aren't competing because they're not spending. You can't blame the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets or the Jays for wanting to spend money. Let's bring up the teams that aren't spending, right? That's kind of the system here. If you're going to put a cap on, and that does remain a possibility, don't you also have to have a floor to bring up the bottom, right? To force those guys to say, like, look, you can't spend this much, but also you guys have to spend more than you're spending. Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Unless you just force all these teams to sell, because like it's worked in Tampa, it's worked in Milwaukee, where they avoid those larger, ridiculous contracts. Look at Milwaukee. Like, they were supposed to be dead in the water last year. Pretty good season.
Pretty good. 97 win team, most in the majors.
I would take that.
Yeah. It hasn't equated to postseason success, though. Like the Brewers, I think, we thought they could hang with the Dodgers. The Rays have made a World Series and have been thorns in teams' sides for years, but it's never gotten them over the hump. Who's the last team to not really spend, to do it the Moneyball way and then win a championship?
True, but at the same time, in the last 100 years, however many teams there are, only 100 teams have won the World Series.
Yeah.
So it's incredibly difficult to win the World Series. You have a 1, and how many teams are there now? 32? 30? 1 in 30 chance regardless. Like, okay, right. Yeah, sure, some have, but there's 30 teams trying to do the same things you're doing, and all with really smart people, and most of which have billionaires trying to, pull the right levers behind the scenes. It's super hard to win the World Series.
Yeah.
So, does Moneyball work or not work? It's hard. Like, you can argue either way, but at the end of the day, it's like, the reality is it is very tough to win the World Series, and money does not guarantee it.
No.
Even the stupid COVID shortened season for the Dodgers, but like, they spent like in 2015, 16, 17, 18, they were spending ridiculous amounts back then too. And it didn't guarantee.
Didn't guarantee. Nope.
But they stuck with Dave Roberts. It worked out pretty well.
Oof, man, has it ever. I mean, as a Yankees fan, I have to kind of admire what the Dodgers are doing. I think you should use your power, use your money if you have it. I think there's a separation, though, between a team like Tampa and a team like Pittsburgh, or even the A's in Pittsburgh. Like, it's clear that I think teams like the A's, who sort of invented, the Moneyball era with the Billy Beans and all of that, like, you can see them trying to get better. They're drafting well. They have, a great offense out there in Oakland, Sacramento, wherever. You can sort of see them putting the pieces together. The Rays draft well. They get good players, but teams like the Pirates just seem like they're phoning it in. Like, they don't make
the Rockies.
The Rockies, they don't make good choices. They don't draft good players. Those are the teams that I think we need to bring up. It's like, the Rays are going to try to compete, and they're working, but the ownership of these other teams, the White Sox, good God, these are like historically bad teams, historically. And so how do you make them sell, or how do you get them to spend more money? How much more money are they going to pocket, right? The whole luxury tax system is designed to boost the teams that aren't spending, right? That's revenue sharing. They get the money spent from the larger teams who have the bigger markets and more money to spend. But then the owners are just pocketing that and not reinvesting in the team. So you have to fundamentally change the system. You can't just say, like, well, you can spend this much and you have to spend this much. You have to change the dynamics of all of it. And I think that's going to be the problem. That's going to be what's hard.
That, to me, though, starts from the ownership. Pittsburgh ownership, Chicago White Sox ownership. They don't care. They're phoning it in, right? They're just pocket. So I don't think how changing the system isn't going to change that. Like, they're still going to be stingy. They'll just be at the floor. Okay, great. And then we're going to share more. Okay, great. Like, they're not going to, it's not like by installing a cap, all of a sudden the White Sox are going to get better, or the Rockies are going to get better, or it's going to be the same shit.
Yeah.
And you imagine that, okay, now Tampa Bay is working within the confines that they have been working in. So Tampa Bay, to me, is going to be just fine with a salary cap.
Yeah.
The Royals are going to be just fine with the salary cap.
Right.
Like, they seem to know what levers to pull and push, buttons to push. So, okay, put in a salary cap, or just punish owners that do that. Like, it's like being a Jets fan, it all starts with the ownership. The one consistent thing across all of this failure is Woody Johnson. That's it's not the GM, it's not the coach, it's not the quarterback, it's not the offensive line, it's not the running back, it's not the wide receiver, it's the goddamn owner.
Yeah.
Who forced that Aaron Rodgers debacle that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with. But until it's going to be the same thing with baseball. The Pirates aren't all of a sudden going to become good. Maybe they luck out because Skeens, some of these young guys do get hot for a year, but then they leave and then they're right back in the toilet.
Right. I thought we were going to a Yanker Jets podcast spinoff there for a second. The Jets have been so bad, but you're right. It starts at the top, and these guys just don't care. I think in order to really truly change the system to make things work, you'd have to address all of these deferred payments. That's why the Dodgers are able to do what they did. And by the way, this wasn't the Dodgers' idea. This was Shohei's idea. Shohei came to the Dodgers and said, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. And you're going to pay me $2 million a year so you can sign all these other players and we're going to defer payments. At some point, baseball has to say you can't defer payments, or if you do, it counts against your
the cap.
Yeah.
Defer whatever. Yeah,
defer whatever you want, but there is a penalty inherent in that, and only that, I think, will force ownership to really figure out another way to do things, because this is still very new. You can look at Bobby Bonilla and all the deferred payments, and Bobby Bonilla Day, he gets paid till 2035, whatever the case may be. Is it 2035? I just pulled that
2030 or 35.
30, yeah, into the 30s. But
still 4 more of a minimum.
It's being abused now, and I think you have to start there. Figure out how to fix that. because the Dodgers do have an unfair advantage. They got the best player in the league to play for pennies.
Mhm.
And now everyone's like, well, if he can do that, I want to go to that team. Because players want to win. You can argue about Kyle Tucker's, enthusiasm for the game of baseball. He wants to win. He went to the Dodgers, so he wants to win, play with Shohei and all these other guys. He wants to win. But you do have to have some safeguards in place for this to happen. Otherwise, it's just going to get out of control. So I'm bummed at the prospect of a lockout, because some people are speculating that it'll run the course of a year. We just won't have any baseball. Any work stoppage is going to be bad for baseball. And it's like baseball's at this point where
finally got back.
It's finally got back, and now you're going to do this. Like it could hurt the game for a really long time. And I think that more than anything else. So I think any work stoppage is going to be bad for baseball at a time when baseball's really kind of come back and just garnered a lot of interest. The talent level has never been higher. And so to me, any sort of work stoppage could be detrimental to the game. And to me, that's the most upsetting piece to all of this, because I love baseball and I want baseball all the time.
Well, you're going to get the World Baseball Classic. So.
We know how much you love that.
Yeah.
We can go down that rabbit hole.
Oh my God, no. I want McLean nowhere near that.
Is he pitching?
Thing. Why
He's pitching? Is he?
He made Team USA.
No. Oh no!
I hate why? I mean, you can tell that Stearns is like, yeah, it's great. I want nothing to do with it. Like, dude has thrown 8 fucking games.
Yeah.
It's
risky.
Why? Anyway, but no, I agree on your point about that. But I think you brought up Bobby Bonilla.
I did.
And it was the coupons the Wilpons that initiated that, because to me, it's greed. It's all about greed, because the coupons listened to Bernie Madoff, who said, I can make you more money in the stock market than if you buy this knucklehead out. And they listened to him. They got scammed because they got greedy. And that, to me, it's like, is the salary cap really going to stop greed? No. It's just, there's like, everybody finds different ways to work around whatever system you put in place. So go ahead, do a salary cap. Players can just shut up and deal with it. Owners can just whatever. It doesn't matter what there is. Everybody's going to figure out a way to work around it or within it, or however you want to phrase it. So to me, I don't care if there's a cap or not. I just want baseball. Like, whatever you billionaires and millionaires need to square away, go for it.
Yeah.
Have at it. I don't think there's going to be any system that both parties are going to be happy with. And I think, like, to me, it's gotten a bit out of control now, where what's going to happen to the Dodgers and all those contracts? Like, are those things going to have to be reworked, or, because now they're sitting there with a $70 million player a year, and that's going to be the floor.
Right.
And then the Pirates are sitting there like, huh? Like, how is that going to work?
You can't really undo the things that have already been done. And so do you, you say, okay, from this point on, but then the Dodgers have this mega team for the next 7 years, right? Where it doesn't matter because they've already agreed to these ridiculous contracts. All good questions. Are the Mets done?
We need a left fielder. It's going to be Beatty or Benj. I think they're going to let it ride with that. That's my preference. I don't want Austin Hayes, and then now that means, what are we doing with Beatty? I don't know what the hell has happened to Vientos. I mean, look at Vientos, like that. Like, you talk about McLean. I don't think he's going to be a flash in the pan, but just the year before, oh my God, Mark Vientos coming out party, his third baseman of the future. It's not even a year later, and the guy's not even on the roster.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird.
So why they're putting so much pressure on this poor guy who's had 8 starts? Like, I think he's going to be good, but now you're basically slotting him in as the 1A. Like, let's not. It never works well in New York when you do that. It doesn't.
Yeah, I think he's got the right mindset for it. He seems pretty grounded. Like, the moment never got too big for him. Obviously, it was only 8 games, but he was pitching in pressure situations last year. I mean, every game McLean pitched down the stretch was a must-win, because they literally were one win away from making the playoffs. And it's like, well, thank God we have McLean on the mound. So I don't think the moment's too big. I don't think the lights are too bright. But you're absolutely right to be concerned.
Saying the exact same thing about Mark Vientos. The moment wasn't too big. He was hitting in the postseason. This guy was a slam dunk to be an all-star practically.
Yeah.
Nah, we're good. We're done.
That's going to do it for this week. Like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. Follow us on YouTube at TikTok. Follow us on YouTube and TikTok at Yank Your Mets Pod. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Chad, it's a pleasure. And we'll see you back probably before the beginning of the season. I'm sure there's something else will happen, but we're gearing up for baseball.
Something will happen. Something will happen, and we'll open it up with me shaking my head, I guarantee you.
All right, until then, adios.